Bloomberg Audio Studios. Podcasts, radio, news.
The Stock Movers Podcast, your roundup of companies making moves in the stock market, harnessing the power of Bloomberg data.
Let's take a look at some of the stocks on the move today then in Europe. I'm Caroline Hepker alongside Valerie Teitel, and we have our Bloomberg equities reporter Joe Easton with us. Things are looking up, and how, for BE Semiconductor. Why?
Yeah, so BE Semiconductor coming out with a statement today at its Investor Day, raising its long-term revenue target to 1.9 billion euros. So that's an annual forecast that they say they should be able to reach within a number of years. Now, previously, they had only targeted 1 billion euros. So they're actually almost doubling that. And also their margins and some of their other financial targets a little bit stronger than expected. So this is the company that makes, well, one of the companies that makes machines that are used to assemble chips on the production line. So it's kind of in the same bucket as ASML, but much smaller than the big rival over there, also listed in Amsterdam. So the stock today up around 7% at the moment, the biggest gain in many months for that firm, and analysts lifting all their targets for their revenue for the next few years.
Yeah, although one analyst pointing out that the targets and the financial model was previously targeting 2028, and this one is an update and it's looking towards 2030. But yeah, very interesting from that semiconductor maker.
Joe, it's summer and you're looking at airlines, but not for holiday reasons. What's going on?
Yeah, so airlines, this is a weak sector today. So we saw a drop down in US names yesterday. So American, United, Delta, all of those shares were kind of down around 5% at the close of trading. Now, in the inflation numbers that we got yesterday from the US, there was actually weakness specifically in airline fares. So airline fares declined for a fourth straight month, and we saw the stocks, as I say, in the US falling, and we've seen a feed through into the European names. So it's a lot of the companies that are exposed to transatlantic travel, so IAG, British Airways, also Air France, and also Lufthansa, LHA, the ticker on that one. So those stocks declining today, some of those down around 3%, but also the jump up in oil prices that we've seen on a two-day basis. So oil slightly lower this morning, but on a two-day basis still up around 3.5%. So therefore that feeds through into worries about jet fuel prices, and therefore costs. So kind of a double hit, but really the weaker fares is kind of the big headline out of that.
Okay, interesting. And it looks like every little helps when it comes to Tesco.
Yes, maybe the club card price on the stock today. So the Tesco is actually 2% higher today, so the kind of joke doesn't work so well there. But this company reporting a 5% gain in like-for-like sales. So the market was only, or analysts were only looking for around 4% gain on the last quarter. And this is reassuring because we did get some profit warnings out of the sector a few months ago, notably from Asda, the privately held rival. We got a warning from them back in March saying that there's so much competition and discounting in the sector, in UK grocers at the moment, which is obviously all good for all of us consumers, but not for the companies. So this is reassuring from Tesco today, saying that their sales actually looking pretty strong, beating expectations. They do caution on a competitive environment in the statement, but the stock gaining 2% on a bit of relief. TSCO currently up around 1.5%, given the boost from their sales.
The Stock Movers Podcast from Bloomberg Radio. Check back with us throughout the day for the latest roundup of companies making news on Wall Street. And for the latest market-moving headlines, listen to Bloomberg Radio live. Catch us on YouTube, Bloomberg.com, and on Apple CarPlay and Android Auto with the Bloomberg Business app.